Great hospitality. Proper football weather, mate. Mate, I'm expecting an Olympico, at least from one side tonight. Just elevate it. It'll find its way in.
So when you assess the referee, when you get like how to speak to players or like
the entire game, the whole team as a referee.
yeah,
So how to control the game, to get things right, to get position of the leg, to do with discipline.
yeah, okay. So you do for even for the post guy, for the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't interact during the game.
I can only listen to them. I can
Because you've got the
content.
but I never understood like when they have to speak, they press it something or it's just
It's automatic sequence.
yeah, because how it works is like so just as soon as you speak, you
It was only at the World Cup where they were going to speak to the crowd,
yeah.
and then they would tell whoever's controlling it to put the speakers on. But it's a closed system, so it's only the referee, 2 ARs, and 4th official looking microphones, and I've got a receiver.
Yeah, okay.
So we can talk all the time.
Yeah. So I thought there was something, but I never understood. I thought it was something like they press it. So
Some systems are like that. The ones they use, they don't need to
not.
press them.
yeah, okay.
Welcome one and all to what I must say is freezing conditions in Melbourne's north for what is hopefully, well, some red hot NPLW Victoria action. Major ramifications in both the playoff race and the relegation battle this evening as the Preston Lions get set to host Calder United in round 18 of the 2024 NPL Women's Victoria campaign. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us for today's contest on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. No matter where you happen to be tuning in from, be it Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or indeed anywhere around the world. There's the two sides, several players making use of the long sleeves, a few hardy souls opting to go without, make their way out into the centre of the pitch, exchanging high fives and getting set to do battle. We'll take you through the visitors first. Calder United, coached by Andrew Burnett, who has stepped in as the interim following Kugalan Sabaratnam stepping down a few weeks ago. They got what was a rare win for them last week. They've only got 3 on the season, but one of them coming last week, 2 on triumph over Burundara. That following on from a 1-1 draw with the Bentley Greens. So all of a sudden, Calder United, who find themselves in the unfamiliar position of battling relegation this season, have 4 points from a possible 6 in their last 2 games. They will start with just the one change from the 11 that defeated Burundara last week. Kobe Wilbert coming into the side in place of Karina Todorova, who moves to the bench. In goal, it's Alyssa Dalost. In front of her, Emma Langley, Larissa Walsh, Akisha Sandhu, Olivia Anderson, Alicia Ecke, Annalyn Ayton, Jennifer Lum, Maya Hyson, Judy Connolly, and the aforementioned Wilbert. For the hosts, well, they will enter today in second place, coming off a massive 7-1 win over the Bentley Greens, albeit they are in seconds, but they are not exactly streaking away from the pack chasing them. You've got the FC Bulleen Lions on top, but then the Preston Lions, well, they find themselves just 3 points clear of 5th placed South Melbourne. Level on points with 3rd placed Essendon, who have a game in hand on them as well. It's Heidelberg United that slot in there as well in 4th place. And well, 5, it does not go into 4. One of those aforementioned sides will miss out on finals football come the end of the season. We've only got about a month of football after this to go, so sides desperately needing to, well, pick up as many points as possible on the run home. Of course, we'll go through that battle as this game commences. But for the hosts, they're going to start with Charlotte Rahorison in goal. In front of her, Jade Feeks, Miri Nishimura, Molly May Ramsey, Mabe Tanaka, Emma Checker, Ellie Lamont, Eva Harrington, Hayley Johnson, who is second in the race for the Golden Boot, behind only Burundara's Gabby Holler, Susan von Sonkam, and Georgia Henderson. As the action gets underway, the players no doubt thrilled to be able to start running around and warming up. I'm not sure what the official temperature is out here in Reservoir, but you've probably been able to pick up maybe some hints of the winds coming through on the microphones on the broadcast, and certainly that is lowering temperatures even more so. As the ball is sent under touchline by Hyson, who was awarded Player of the Game by the Calder Socials for her performance in their win over Burundara last week. It was Keisha Sandhu getting on the score sheet in that one for Calder alongside an own goal. Sandhu's 7th of the campaign for leading them in goals this season. What is her first campaign since switching over from South Melbourne. South Melbourne to a title last campaign. Ball in dispute in the midfield. Calder trying to press, lock the ball in there, but Preston, as they switch the play from right to left, well, initially looked like they might be able to get out through Lamont. Calder knocked it away, but now Johnson on the ball for Preston. She's going to slice it across the park. Henderson bringing it down and playing it forward, trying to find a way through from Soncare. the season, which is equal with Ellie Lamont for second for this Lioness side. It's that long clearance. Plenty of time for Preston to seize upon it. Checker. Harrington's going to get closed down. Rather well by Anderson. Maybe copped an errant knock for no troubles, but she's done enough to force Preston to slow things down and have a throw in their own half. But flicks it on. Results of the comings together in the midfield is a throw in for the Preston Lions. Couldn't flick the ball properly around the corner, but her teammates help her out. And for her to run into the challenge of Adeline Ayton, now flicked forward for Calder. Lum. She can support the form of Anderson, but the flag will go up for our first offside of the day. Checker signals for everyone to go along and then squares it for Horrison. Keeps the play moving, getting it to Feeks. Tomcat tries to let the ball run out behind the goalkeeper's fence. In the end, she'll defer. Girl back in, Preston trying to win it immediately back and keep the pressure on. Falling hands of Alicia Aki again on the far touchline from our broadcast position. She sends a central, Connolly on the ball. Calder unable to string a few passes together in this midfield, but not losing the ball at least. Gaining a few metres through these throw-ins on that left-hand attacking flank. Switch potentially on if they can work their way through Preston. And they've worked their way through Preston. Keep it on the left flank though. Ball played forward. Away by Feeks. That will result in the fourth corner in the last minute or two for Calder on the left flank. But now he's in a promising position outside the Preston penalty area. Loss of form, quickly getting it to Johnson. Keeps the play moving well. Johnson, she's got Lamont in the middle, she's got Sonkamp as well, but the cross away. Both of them in the right hands of Alyssa Galost. She's getting a few starts for Calder as the long-time Calder player. Advantage of that pathway and partnership between the club and Western United. He's been on the Western United books these past couple of league seasons. 8 starts for them in 2023-2024. He's their first choice heading into the final. Pitchak, 19-year-old goalkeeper, also on Western's books. He's on the bench tonight as the backup keeper. She was between the sticks as Calder's under-20 side recorded a 1-0 win over Preston's in the curtain raiser for this fixture. Was lofted out to Tanaka on the right. Attempt to feed the overlapping run though, doesn't come off. Trying to get something going on that left flank for Calder, doesn't come off. Instead, Emma Checker will once again start pulling the strings from the back line, setting it to Sends it out to Harrington. She's just lost something long. The flag is going to stay down. Will fall to Fong Song Cam. She sends it out to the right flank, plays away the delivery. It's going to get away from Tanaka. But the ball will be kept in. Lamont charging forward. She's going to wind up. Looks like she was thinking about the shot there. And on that occasion, it will just roll out of bounds. Calder will have the opportunity to catch their breaths and get us restarted for the goal kick. As mentioned, it's not been a season that we've come to expect from Calder since their birth and entrance to their NPL women's competition. This game sitting second bottom of the table in the relegation zone. Probably their season exemplified by the previous meeting between these two sides when they suffered an 8-0 defeat against Preston at home back in round 7. Who starts on the bench tonight, embracing that game. Feek's got a goal as well. Johnson. All on the score sheet as Preston players filled their boots. That ball played forward by Connolly, but nobody wearing white there to meet it. Just a checker. Another touch. Another. 7-time Matilda carrying the ball forward before sending it out onto this left flank for Harrington. It's going to be turned over by Johnson. Keisha Sandu now spearing it forward and then getting the return pass from Lum. Feet getting in the road for Preston. Calder, West Australian. Riding an option as pull the forward triangle. The back line trying to work the way out. Will stay in for Lum. And then flicked on his Emma Langley, the intended target. Execution not quite there, and Preston have themselves throwing on this left flank. Henderson now setting it out to Tanaka, who has to go and get it, has plenty of time to do so. Tanaka, she's in great form and, well, ominous signs, if not finished with aplomb, as the effort is sent straight down the break basket of Dalos. So, indeed, Shimura for company is forced to go backwards. Now, the Preston press, Lamont keeps her feet, sends it into Johnson, trying a little spin move, doesn't quite come off. Calder to clear their lines. And in the end, they're going to gain quite a bit of territory. And Preston will have themselves a throw-in. Peeler is our referee tonight. Assistants Collingworth and Veropoulos. Benjamin Howard is the fourth. Langland drills it forward once more. Yes, for a handball on one, and eventually they are heated. The rain coming in now as well. A bit more vigour. It has been drizzling pretty much most of the contest, but now coming down with a bit more vigour, and the wind's doing its part to add to the discomfort. Johnson to Lamont, bit of a heavy touch. Calder. Oh, they'll have a free kick. Called for the infringement. Just having a few words with the referee, maybe to quite speculating. Using a boot before we can get restarted through Mr. Delost. Hoofs are clear, but it's going to get headed straight back by Henderson. Come up with the second ball though. Sundell blazing it down the touchline. Anderson's going to give chase. A forlorn chase in the end as it rolls far beyond her and out for a goal kick. Harrison going to collect it. Feeks slams it long. Once. Checker. Ramsey's there as well. Henderson upfield, and that's where the ball is eventually going to go, but she's going to be set a task to chase it down. Eki in there for Calder. So the kept in, straight to Johnson, who sends it central, will bounce to Lamont. Swung her leg round and make decent enough contact, but radar just off, and Dallas, the keeper of her standard, probably had it covered even if it was on target, but she didn't have to worry about that as it bounces wide of the post. To Langley on the right flank to Sundell. Ball got away from her. Nishimura immediately comes in to take it back for Preston. Song Cam doing well to shield the ball from Conley. Some support came in the form of Anderson. Moves it long. Shows another touch for Harrison. Feeks. Keeper. Johnson and Tanaka looking up, trying to get something down the Langley to Lamont. Didn't come off. Johnson though keeps possession for Preston. Now Henderson. Still Henderson. Illegal Sundell. All whipped in by Molly May Ramsey to Lamont. Preston winger had space and time but couldn't make proper contact with the effort. Remains scoreless here at BT Connor Reserve. Bustle Anderson off the ball. So was in there as well. Ramsey throw her away. It's going to fall to Judy Connolly. Pass pass intended for Olivia Anderson. Gets away from her. Johnson. Trying to speed up the run. Chimura picked out by Langley. Oh, that's a smart ball from Larissa Walsh. Larissa Walsh is through, but she's denied by Harrison at the first time and the second time of Askin. A golden opportunity for Calder, probably against the run of play. Denied twice by the Preston custodian. And now, Preston are going to go movingly up the other end. Henderson trying to send it in the Tanaka direction. Calder had the numbers. Nathan just sending it out into touchline. A super ball to spring Larissa Walsh in. And some fine work, particularly his second save. Charlotte Prohorison. She fell over, but it's going to sit up rather well for Walsh. Sandu makes the run, that's where it goes. Bounces off her, Anderson goes back to try to collect. She's not going to get there before Fonsonka. Feeks now. Johnson trying to turn and play the ball upfield. Tanaka was offside at the time it was delivered. It was tight with players moving around there and Tanaka trying to get back, but just unable to do so. Preston again looking to jump on Calder in their own half. It's been a real feature of the opening exchanges of this game. Calder will survive and move the play into Preston's side on the edge. Ball through the pitch of Sunday. Wind blast hits the ground here. Preston winning it back. Lamont. Back to Harrington, she's going to be pressured by Anderson, who's helped Calder win it back. Walsh can't get the shot off. First time of Asky eventually wound up, blocked away before it could challenge for Harrison. And Preston scramble it clear. Just to catch their breath. Nathan carrying it into Preston's half, but that will find nobody in particular really. It'll be a Preston ball on the defensive right flank. Both sides desperate to come up with it. In the end, it's going to be Calder that does so. Well, for a little while at least before that pass goes straight to Georgia Henderson. Calder wants to just slide something into the path of Anderson. Doesn't come off. Checker and Harrington getting back for Preston. Former on the ball, sending it in the Nishimura direction. It's going to get away from the Japanese midfield. Langley to get us going once again for Calder. Decent enough throw in. Lund's going to get there before it goes out. Wanted the run of Walsh. Picked out before it could reach her. But Calder beginning to ask more and more questions of this Preston side. Preston certainly asking plenty of their own at the other ends, but not all one-way traffic at the least. And now it's the turn of the hosts to spring forward. Listen to Lamont coming together. Appeals for a free kick from the Preston attacker. Bouncing ball, Lamont brings it down, and then a sombrero for Alicia Eki. Ellie Lamont, intended cross, kicked down by Alicia Eki. Sandu, clever touch to get it through to Lum. Sends it out to Walsh, back central. Coming under pressure from Song Cam. They lost his pass out to the left flank. It's away from Alicia Eki, and Preston will have for themselves a throw in what has to be considered a promising position. Admittedly, it's pretty rare for throw-ins to lead to goals in Women's Victoria. Preston want to buck that trend here with throwing on their attacking right flank. Flick on by Johnson. Again, moved by Henderson. Calder are able to snap it up. And Langley. Well, clear. He's going to get to the half-line line. Central. Sandu. Walsh is going to have to chase that one down, and on a wet night like this, where it's going to skip just a little bit more, she's not going to be able to get there in time. Central, Nishimura, knock it into space, just a bit too far out in front of Tanaka. The lost instead will reset for Calder after she was fed by Maya Hudson. Sandal, Langley. Sets up the touchline. It's going to scoot away from Molly May Ramsey. Checker though, ready to sweep up and prevent Olivia Anderson from getting on the end of it. Olivia Anderson with a success stories of the developmental pathway. Played captain in a number of their junior sides before making their way into the senior ranks. That ball will eventually be put out because we got an injury. So I think it might be Hayley Johnson over on that far side of the park. Calder will take advantage of the stoppage to just huddle up. They've certainly come under pressure, Calder, but we've played just about 26 minutes on the scoreboard here at BT Connor Reserve, and the score remains 0-0, given that they were defeated 8-0 out in the previous meeting. They'd have probably taken that coming in. As we get the trainer called for here for Preston. Players out on the touchline warming up for the hosts. We've got Lauren Ferrugia as the backup keeper, Lee Blaming, Barney Gadice, some Planechia, Rieger and Dakota Theisen as options off the bench. Calder bench has taken advantage of the stoppage to just get up and warm up as well, although to stave off to chill and prepare for a sub. Back of our goalkeeper for Calder United. Shimizu, Desmond Smith, Warren Poole, Marina Todorova, and Lydia Lazarevska. Off the bench for all across Andrew Burnett. Players made their way onto the sideline, and I think it was Eva Harrington. That's 52 and Eva Harrington, 24 and Johnson. Who required a bit of treatment, but judging from the high step in that she's doing on the touchline, she will be right to continue. Walsh steaming forward but doing so from an initial offside position. Sandu on the ball now, trying to show off a bit of fancy footwork. You can maybe see from some of the various flags around this pitch that this wind, which has absolutely picked up as this game has progressed in the first half of BT Connor Reserve, it is at the backs of Calder United in this opening half. To be honest, if Keisha Sandu picked her moment right, she would probably have a shot from here given this wind. She's going to find the teammate, Keisha Sandu. There you go. A long way out, and she was possibly, you can't discount that was a shot there. Certainly got away from all the players in a hurry. Now look, she's going to go from range, keeping it along the turf. Robertson gives it the cursory dive to just ensure that it stays out, but didn't have to worry. Checker. There's Molly May Ramsey to her left. The fullbacks have switched for Preston. That's where the ball goes. Back central for Johnson. Her pass is going to get picked out by Connolly. Going central. Sandu's on it. Keisha Sandu looking for a shot. Made good contact, but too close to Charlotte for Horrison, who claims it. Calder again coming up with it, enjoying a decent spell for Calder United. Clears it away. Extra handball from the Preston bench against Tyson. Unheeded. It's the lost, boots it away. Trying to bring it down. touch. Disputes Tanaka battling against Anderson. The attack will be broke down in a hurry for the hosts. Ball bouncing through the lost. Goes short. He gets it back. Walsh. Oh, calamitous for Preston. Two players having a bit of a comedy pratfall, bumping into each other as Calder burst forward. Walsh, delivery in, but it's going to get away from the arriving Calder pack and be claimed by Oz. Judy Connolly on the ball. Wilbur. It's the ball to Lum. Wilbur. Shireki can't retain possession, but it's sent back forward by Adelaide. All the players able to chase that one down. Calder. And then Ramsey sending it away. It's going to get sent straight back. And now the foot race is on. But the touchline will beat all. Preston goal kick. Close down, but does well to feed it to Henderson. She sends a ball forward, only as far as Langley. Just booted away. But sent straight back. Tanaka for Preston. Good touch to take it into the penalty area. Left-footed ball across, gets away from Johnson. Gets away from Harrington. Danger not passed. Connolly's forced to clear that one away. Holding it up. We need a free kick bundled over from behind by Jay Feeks. Poor free kick, sent straight back. Two from Songcam. Well, wound up. They lost, understandably, caught off her line. Wasn't expecting that turnover, but the effort goes wide. He's the target player for Calder. This occasion laying it off for Langley. Sends it forward for Sandur. Central. Wilbur. Preston winning it back. From Songcam. It's a good ball for Lamont. Ellie Lamont, 1-on-1, falling over. Johnson on the rebound. Ruthless Hayley Johnson with her 15th goal of the season, putting the hosts up 1-0. It all opened up in front of the American, and she made no mistake. She's been one of the finds of the season in this NPL Victoria competition. She puts her side ahead and moves to within 2 of Gabby Holler in the race for the Golden Boot. Now, how can Calder respond? Much better showing across this opening half from Calder than maybe one would have expected, given the last game finished 8-0 to Preston. Probably unlucky, maybe, you could consider them, to not be 1-0 up. A few chances against Charlotte Prohorison at the other end, but now, can they rebound from this? It is a big game for them as well. They're undefeated in their last 2 as they look to avoid relegation. The result today is second place Preston Lions. Undoubtedly supercharged the nation's sense of momentum that they've begun to build late in the season. Point even for this position will probably go a long way in that regard. Tanaka, Ramsey, for Johnson. Nice touch for Tanaka. When Sonkan's made a run. Lamont has acres of space out on this right flank. Now Harrington makes an overlapping run. Just a bit too close to the sliding challenge of Alicia Aki, but it rebounded off Harrington's shins. She's gone to fetch it. All in. Away before it can reach the waiting Tanaka. Corner kick for Preston. Well, if we get a number of corners up the other ends, we might be seeing some Olympicos, given the way that the wind is going. Right now, however, the advantage for Preston to in the zone they're allowed to take the ball this week. Certainly going to pick it up and hurl it away from the goals if it's into the air. Take. Well. Yeah, running as far as one way around here. Check out. Ball forward with Tanaka, the intended recipient, just sent away by Langley. Johnson, Henderson, coming down with it. Back for a handball. This game has been played in good spirits. Closes down Langley. Rowan will go to the advantage of the latter. To Langley. Connolly. Sitting into the middle of the park, but Malaya Lamont to sneak in and grab the ball back for the Lionesses. Sonkan to Lamont, back to Checker. Feats has gone all the way up the park. Central defender, cross in, cleared away. nosebleed that high up the pitch. Feeks, who gets the ball back now. Position's probably a bit more familiar to her. Connolly trying to feed the run of Anderson, only for it to be picked out by Ishimura. As well, the divide with Tanaka. Falls as she attempts to knock that ball forward. On the other side, clean with it. Turnover from Connolly, seized upon by Ramsey, and now Lamont. Left-footed effort, saved, and saved strongly, but the follow-up! Oh, Johnson. Pitiless. Twice tonight for 2 goals that have put Preston into a commanding position in this opening stanza, following up there to capitalise on the loss, just being forced to palm away the initial attempts. And as this opening half ticks down here at BT Connor Reserve in Steel Stadium, it is the hosts that give themselves a comfortable cushion. 2-0 against Calder United. And they respond immediately from the kickoff, sending it long. One can't chase it down though. Nishimura puts her boot through it. Langley trying to combine with Anderson. He gets away from them. Get away from her. Get forward, no. Turning possession well before sending it back to Alan Ayton. That pass will get away from the defender. So, 10 seconds of regulation remaining per the scoreboard here at BT Connor Reserve. Now, out to indicate there will be 2 minutes of additional time to be observed in this opening half. Buildup coming away with it. Up to Walsh, Larissa Walsh, left-footed effort along the turf for Lamu. Poked it goalward. I think the last touch coming off Emma Checker, preventing it from challenging for Horrison and instead going out for a corner. So possibly one of the final chances, maybe the final chance for Calder in this opening stanza with this wind advantage. Challenge Keisha Sandon. She's probably going to have, regardless of where she wants to put it, she's going to have to start it to her right and let it come back in. 11 players back to defend for Preston this late on in the opening stanza. Ball is whipped in. Horrison had to come and punch. There we go. I mentioned the Olympico chance before. Horrison denying it on that occasion, and now, well, looks as though that will be Sandal to take again, albeit now from this side, which won't favour the right footer if she's thinking about challenging for Horiston again. Instead, opportunity for this tall timber that's gotten forward to try to make their mark. Ball is sent in, so just top the 6-yard box where Longler's in the vicinity. Sent out to Sandu, and that in delivery can't make proper contact, and it will be the final moment of this opening stanza. It's a game that, as mentioned, has been played in good spirits. It's been competitive, there's been chances for both sides, but in the end it's been Hayley Johnson and Preston taking 2 of theirs and giving themselves a cushion in this opening stanza. Calder, though, will no doubt take some part from being right in it throughout the 45 minutes, especially in the last meeting, as mentioned, was an 8-0 defeat. And in this second stanza, who knows what we might see. These conditions, as you might have been able to pick up throughout the game, very much an equaliser, the wind and the rain, preventing both sides from probably being as clean as they would like to be. We will see how they adjust in the half-time break, and who can come out, maybe even try to take advantage of those when play resumes in the second stanza. That will be in about 15 or so minutes. You'll have the countdown clock to company. Until then, be sure to join us on the other side.
but
You might just go to
oh, fuck, you should be there.
I tried to get your attention.
Yeah, but there was one that was very leaning forward, like, and they didn't say
It's
anything.
alright mostly, it's just when the ball
Yeah, man, take it for left. You should have said to me before, to be honest. You should have like tapped me
you
because
weren't together, you weren't actually blocking the game itself.
but I was in the
Yeah,
yeah.
It's all good. All good. Nothing there.
Sometimes I don't know where is he didn't have the microphone here. He didn't put it anywhere.
No, the mic's, I'm using it this second.
No, the microphone, you know the one I got
Other than your text mic.
Did he put it somewhere?
That mic is hot.
So I was worried that he was sorry? Yeah, okay. So that's why I didn't want to ask him anything. I was worried that if I was going to say something, you know, you could have. It's set up.
Yeah.
Not for the winter. Yeah, that's true. Johnson, she has number 24, doesn't she?
Yeah,
They-
yeah. 2 goals. And sometimes you get
Yeah. Usually you do the, most of the time you do the girls, NPL women.
I do both.
You do both?
So I did 2 men's games last week,
Yeah,
2
okay.
women's games, and a men's game.
Most of the times I go still for the girls.
I got a draw around Western United Brunswick City on Sunday.
Melbourne tomorrow.
So we need a week.
Western United are not the NPL 2.
VPL 1, but there's one VPL 1 game broadcast a week, and this week we're broadcasting Western United Brunswick.
So is the same it's with NPL Victoria or is something?
Oh yeah, really, NPL Victoria is
Is
the
it,
coach.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing another, they're doing the VPL 2 games tonight. It's North Sunshine versus someone at Forest Reserve.
So you broadcast sometimes either VPL 1 and VPL 2.
Oh, I hope before we.
But I don't know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah. Special occasions, like it's coming out, it's going to come on. Point of the season, so Western United to chase for promotion.
How is Brunswick City doing?
They're towards, I think they're not in danger of relegation, but they're on the big taste.
Yeah, okay.
From them.
Are you?
Welcome back, one and all, as we prepare to bring you live footage of the second half of this round 18 NPL Women's Victoria clash between the Preston Lions and Calder United. And if you are just joining us, it is the Lionesses of Preston that will enter this second stanza with a 2-goal cushion delivered by their, well, talisman, their spearhead, Hayley Johnson, being in the right place at the right time to twice finish past Alyssa Dalost and put her side 2 goals to the good in the opening 45 minutes. Alyssa Dalost, however, is not between the sticks as we prepare to begin this second 45 minutes. That change has been made at half-time. Natalie Pitchak, the young keeper, has made her way onto the park and will be entrusted with defending her side's goals as they attempt to engineer some form of turnaround and maintain a nation unbeaten run, 2-game unbeaten run, a 1-1 draw against the Bentley Greens a fortnight ago that was followed by a 2-1 win over Boroondara last week. But they're going to have to defend now as Lamont gets on the ball, and she's going to drive forward and let loose with what I'm going to assume was a shot wide of the posts. Might have been able to hear the gust of wind as she came forward, and well, I've spoken about it a few times in that opening stanza. It is blowing a gale out here in Reservoir, and it's going to probably take a few exchanges for Preston to get used to going from defending with that in their faces to attacking with that at their backs. And the inverse for Calder United, who are trying to move the ball at the park now. Lifted forward in the Walsh vicinity. We'll do some battling for it before it's knocked clear, but Preston haven't been able to clear their lines totally. Ball's in central, but only as far as Henderson, who was collected in the aftermath, but Nishimura kept play moving to Tanaka. Out to Checker, who's going to carry the ball forward and lose it to Emma Langley, who's just unable to keep it in, and Calder can't break quickly. Although Molly May Ramsey's not going to be allowed to steal an extra few metres for the throw-in. Johnson trying to turn and run onto that one, able to do so now. Loom for Calder. They try to feed the run of Sandal forward, picked out. Checker across to Feeks. She's going to get closed down by Walsh on her blind side, but kept her head. Now Harrington with plenty of scope to carry the ball across and get it to Ellie Lamont. Poked clear of her by Judy Connolly. Shereki trying to carry it forward before sliding it across the Sandal, picked out. Sandal spies Walsh out wide on the left. The flag will stay down. Walsh, decent ball in, spilled by her Horrison. Checker on the spot, gets it out of there. Shereki on it, sending it across the way. Hyson, she's going to send it, well, possibly for hoping that the run of Walsh be heading in that direction, but really would have beat her even if she had been steaming forward, and instead it's going to be a goal kick. Kept it going in the direction of Walsh. Sent clear. Now Lamont battling and doing well. Still in possession, shaking off multiple defenders, carrying it towards the byline. This is great from early Lamont. Ball in, but it's swallowed up by that pitching. This position closest to our broadcast in the second stanza. Decent West Australian representation. Ellie Lamont, one-time Perth Glory player. Shared the field with the likes of Mackenzie Arnold and Sam Kerr in her appearance for Perth Glory, albeit it was in a 4-0 defeat to what was a dominating Matildas-laden Melbourne City side. Larissa Walsh signed with Calder 2023 from Perth Red Star. Won the Golden Boot and Player of the Season in WA. Now though, Tanaka for Preston. It's a decent effort and it's going to skate through. It's catching her unawares there, given the response in celebration. But yes, it will count and it will put Preston 3 goals to the good here early on in the second stanza. Well, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle. And on that occasion, still perhaps to her amazement, she's shrugging. Tanaka won the raffle. And now, 3 goals to the good, 3 points seemingly in the bag for Preston. We'll see what the remainder of this contest holds. Gone just about 56 minutes, I believe, on the scoreboard here at BT Connor Reserve as Walsh winning the ball. Preston wanted a free kick. But Lum's going to feed it through for Walsh. That's a decent effort, looping in a fiendish manner, but for Horrison watching it all the way, it was not the most power behind it. She collects and starts directing traffic here before she boots the ball long. Horrison. Feeks. Ball gets away from Harrington. Judy Connolly gets us going once again for Calder. Keisha Sandel. Monstered by Miri Nishimura. Harrington getting to the ball in front of Walsh and then just putting it out. Lamont getting back to help defend. Clearance bounces off the shins of Sundu and out for a goal kick. Nods it on. Tanaka and Henderson in the vicinity. Ball came out to Lamont, who just swung her boot, sent it round the corner for the runner Johnson. He's going to get there. Ball in. Headed clear. Preston looking to lock it in. But it's going to come back. Handball awarded against Molly May Ramsey. Connolly to Sandu. Turns. Sends it out to the right. It's well done. Olivia Anderson to keep the play moving forward. Langley now. Emma Langley. Ball in. Seized upon by Connolly. Done very well there, Connolly. Just ran into trouble in the end, and Preston send it clear. Ellie Lamont now. Shireki getting back well to defend her. Ball sliced through. Well, Tanaka's given chase, but she was doing so from an offside position. And Calder will hang for the ball. Loses out eventually to the press away to numbers, and that's a good ball through for Fonsongkham, but it's just going to carry too much pace underneath it. And Pitchak getting out to claim. Sandu. Challenged by Nishimura. The ball will remain in the possession of Calder though. Sandu's going to have to fix her armband. It's trailing behind her. Nodded on. Johnson's going to get there. Through for Tanaka. Tanaka looking for a brace. Getting a brace. Combining with Johnson. And Preston have their fourth of the evening, decisively making their way through the Calder backline, and potentially the floodgates beginning to strain, beginning to heave here at BT Connor Reserve, as Preston, 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in what is still a relatively young second stanza. Now Calder, who had their moments, certainly could have even gone ahead 1-0 at one point, but now potentially damage limitation is the name of the game. That 2-game unbeaten run looks set to come to an end. Now it's just about, well, when you're in a relegation, 3-way relegation battle with 2 sides set to go down, goal difference becomes so valuable in and of itself. It's almost worth half a point. And that potentially could be the priority for Calder. Harrington. Oh, Nishimura wound up. The effort was sailing well wide. And well, looking at goal difference for Calder United now, today will mark, we can almost certainly say, will be their 13th defeat of the season. It's now 24 goals scored on the season against 54 against. Brunswick Juventus, who are a point clear of them with a game in hand. They will make, admittedly, what is the very, very difficult trip to league leaders FC Bulleen Lions on Monday evening. But they've scored 1 more goal and conceded 14 less now. As here come Preston again. Lamont's effort deflecting around, cleared away by Calder. A point behind Calder in 12th position. The Bentley Greens. Bentley will travel to face Alamein. 6th placed Alamein this round. They have scored 16 goals on the campaign against 45 against. Johnson. Ball in. Cleared away, but only as far as Tanaka, who gets underneath it. And, well, all of a sudden, Abe Tanaka now has 11 goals on the campaign. A hat-trick last week. A brace tonight. All of a sudden, we're talking about Johnson, Haley Johnson's place in the Golden Boot race. Tanaka now finds herself in outright 4th on there, behind Gabby Holler's 17. Johnson now has 16. Maya Markowski for Bulleen has 13 on the season, and now moving ahead of Audrey Osler, Keely Lockhart and Nicole Cooper from Essendon, Heidelberg and Brunswick Juventus. Tanaka has 11. So certainly a fine signing for Preston Lions, and well, they certainly struck gold when they recruited Miri Nishimura to the side, the Preston Lions. That ball's going to bounce through and bounce wide. Kiwa Hieda, another Japanese signing of Preston. She went on to Calder and then Western United. Of course, Korea Kino turned last season dominating season with Burundara into an A-League women's contract. So NPLW has certainly been a happy hunting ground for Japanese imports as of late. Check his header. Not it on. He clears it away. Lamont will get there before Sandu. And Calder preparing a triple substitution on their bench. Karina Todorova, Olivia Lazarevska, and Tamsin Smith awaiting their summons. Lamont. Decent delivery in. Nodded away, at least in at first, but not definitively. And an absolutely peach of an effort from Georgia Henderson. Fantastic effort from the midfielder, and now, well, the number on her back is also the scoreline. 5-0, 5-0. The Lionesses running away with it in this second stanza. Preston going to make a change of their own as well. Larnica Dice preparing to enter the fray. Kobe Wilbert will come off for Calder, as will Alicia Eki and Olivia Anderson. Brie Gurr will also enter the fray for Preston. Eva Harrington, one of the players that has made their way off. Looks as though Jade Feeks looks to have been the other. So 5 changes made by both coaches in the aftermath of goal to make it 5-0 to the hosts. Lamont coming together there with the newly introduced Smith. Cleared away by Larissa Walsh. Interesting. Talking before about how Keisha Sundul crossed over to Calder after winning a title with South Melbourne last year. Tamsin Smith also crossing over after winning a title. Part of the Heidelberg team that beat South Melbourne 3-2 in the 2023 Under-19 Grand Final. She'll have to defend a Preston corner. And Miri Nishimura, Preston like to say that she has magic in her boots, but on that occasion she's going to use it to go short with Von Songkham and then wind up Nishimura. The line but not the length. Sending that one over the crossbar, and then Coach Dan Foden in the dugout telling her not to celebrate too early. Nishimura trying to dink the ball through for Tanaka on a hat trick. She and Johnson. Checker. On the way back to Rahorison. Harrison getting the ball out of there and into the Preston side of the park. Falls to Henderson, but Dealer found a handball beforehand. The best free kick, and May Ramsey puts it out. Winning it for Preston. Johnson seizing upon it and tried to feed the run of Lamont. Well, the pass didn't find her, but she won it quickly back off Calder. Von Songkham. Calder preparing to make another change as Tanaka gets bundled over. Now, free kick for Preston's Lionesses. And the wind's at her back. Miri Nishimura has 5 goals on the season. Does she try to pick out a teammate? She's got Johnson in there, she's got Checker in there. Or does she go for the spectacular herself? Would feel that it's within her rights to. The magic in those boots that she possesses. Nishimura. She's going to look to find a teammate. Bouncing through and then bouncing just wide. Not taking a touch off anybody, maybe, in the end, as it will result in a Calder goal kick. Sends it clear for Preston. And sent straight back in. Rova. Connolly. Walsh. Connolly. Two West Australians combining. Played forward for Akisha Sandhu. She stood up by a couple of Preston players. Went to throw in. Goes for a free kick. Against Connolly, a heated. Right down Lamont. There's Kane Shimizu preparing to enter the game for Calder United. Ball booted away. Maya Hudson. Will go into touch, and that change will come. Shimizu will enter in place of Jennifer Lum. So an attacking change for Calder as Shimizu moves to take the place of a teammate atop their attack. Play coming back, free kick. Taken quickly, Tanaka getting onto it. Fell over, effort sent straight back in off the crossbar. Lamonti's there, and she's closed down by Tamsin Smith. And Calder survive. For how long though, as it will be a Preston corner kick. Going to bounce all the way through to the back post. And Checker can't send her effort in on goal. Triple sub coming for Preston now. Coach Dan Foden marking instructions as to the adjustments that we were required. It'll be Ellie Vlaming coming on, Dakota Thyssen and Summer Kapanecchia. Susan von Songkam will make way. As will Hayley Johnson and Molly May Ramsey. So it looks like Lamont will go to the 9 role. Kapanecchia out to the left wing. Flaming out to the right. Henderson meanwhile, she's on the ball and she's shooting. Forcing a save, the rebounds! Again by Pitchak, fantastic save. Could have been straight off the bench and onto the score sheet for the newly introduced Ellie Vlaming. But that Pitchak, not allowing that. Nishimura now with the delivery to the penalty spot. Turned around the corner by Checker. Desperately trying to scramble it clear. Eventually a boot is put through it. Lazarevska trying to win it for her side. Isolated and collecting an opponent in And in the process, Tanaka going down heavily. Zareska, she's filled her boots at an under 17 level in 2024, 25 goals in 20 games. So potentially one of these players that you would consider the future for Calder United, who have a very proud tradition of goal scorers. As the ball is whipped in, defensive header sends it out for another corner. Again, Nishimura will amble across to take this one. Dakota Thyssen makes a late move to get on the goal line as the ball is whipped in. Players arriving. Headed away, foot race is on. Todorova got there in front of Checker and put the ball out. Langley seizing the ball for her side. Zareska kept it moving. Sandul. Ball intended for Larissa Walsh by Smith. Didn't come off, but Calder will keep possession. Connolly's ball was between Walsh and Smith. Calder again. Will keep possession and look to build now, maybe switching it from left to right. Langley loses one challenger before sending it to Judy Connolly. Goes behind Smith, but to the advantage of Walsh. Extended period of possession for Calder as they look to build. Nathan sending it across. Forward, Checker sends it back. Hudson with the header. That one will be collected by Tanaka. Falls for Sandu. Henderson battling with Connolly. It's worked out. Oh. Sent out to the left, but behind Smith. Henderson got it away from Todorova. And Adeline Aiton is down behind play. Meanwhile, though, Akisha Sandu has seen it and is going to put the ball out. Call the defender down, holding maybe a left ankle. She looks in, unfortunately, a fair bit of discomfort right near our broadcasting position, just in front of the Preston dugout. Call the trainer is going to be called for. No more options on the bench for Calder, Andy Burnett says. And it does not look like Aiton's going to be able to continue. It is the left ankle, the left boot is coming off. As play restarts and Checker sends it back to Calder. Todorova. Calder reduced to 10. Looks like they might be for a little while. Preston applying the press. Comes out to Lamont. She's going to wind up from range, and it's still in play. We'll stay with play for now. Oh, Calder losing players at a rate of knots. Hosen might have caught the Falcon, immediately went down, holding onto her face. Well, the trainer is called for, but the trainer is still treating Adelaide Ayton. Hosen makes her way off, but I think it was a blood rule, calling for the trainer. Blood coming, I think, from the mouth of the defender. Maybe bit the lip. Good Lord, that would have stung in this cold. And at the moment, Calder down to 9. And down both centre backs. As Nishimura gets on the ball. Ball is sent up the park. Smith gets there before it can arrive at the feet of NPLWVIC. Gedice hurls it forward. Well, Hyson ready to come back on. The blood wiped away. Signal to come back on. Yeah, it looks like Preston will get this throw in before she does. Now she enters the fray as Ellie Lamont falls over it. It bounces out for a goal kick. So, well, Preston Calder not at full strength, but they're at least at 10 now rather than 9. Certainly looks as though Adelaide Ayton, her race has been run, not emerged from the Calder dugout. Nishimura sending a ball across the face of goal. Kaponetcha keeping it in. Back to Henderson. Ball up for grabs. Smith came in strongly. Nishimura charged down by Tamsin Smith. And look at that, another corner kick. Preston have had a cavalcade of them in this second stanza. Shimura's delivery towards the penalty spot, defensive header. Shimura then sends it forward. Azarevska was in the vicinity. Oh, and well, Adelaide Ayton has the boot back on and she's emerged from the dugout gingerly. Slight hobble, but it looks as though she's going to try to return to the pitch and return Calder to 11 strong. Walsh, meanwhile, poking it forward. Azarevska couldn't come up with it. Adelaide Ayton back onto the park. Gingerly. Not long to go now. Just shade over 5 minutes of regulation remaining. Walsh carrying the ball down the left, looking for Keisha Sandur. Bundled over. Penalty Calder. So Keisha Sandur was almost out on her feet, but she's going to win her side a penalty. Bundled over. However, in doing so, I think Brieger might have hurt herself in the process. So not long on the park, Brieger. And she really does appear to be in quite a bit of discomfort. The trainer called for. Seeing quite a bit of discomfort. Georgia Henderson's there as well, providing some semblance of support. Sandhu awaiting the opportunity to take this penalty, juggling the ball on the penalty spot as Brieger is sat up. Stretcher is now being called for, unfortunately. Stretcher coming up. Brieger's back to her feet. Looks clear discomfort as she's carried off by Henderson. Barely putting any weight on that left leg, left ankle maybe. Preston have exhausted their substitutions of outfielders. Lauren Ferrugia, who these days the backup goalkeeper at Preston, the only other option. Has been an outfielder in the past, Lauren Ferrugia, I believe, but doubt we're in for that to be revisited. After a lengthy delay, though, Keisha Santil will have the opportunity to reduce the deficit. The Calder skipper. Keisha Santil. Cool and calm, bottom corner. So consolation for the visitors. They won't be blanked twice by Preston, if nothing else. The score now here at BT Connor Reserve. Preston 5, Calder 1. Keisha Santil getting her 8th goal of the campaign. And at this stage, with both sides in the wars, central defenders coming a cropper. Scoreboard here says just got about 90 seconds of regulation. We'll see just how intensely the two sides look to run things out. Blaming on the right. Henderson blocked away. It'll be a corner kick after that block from Judy Connolly. Ishimura prepared to send in an in-swinging effort on that right boot. Ishimura takes high ball towards the back post, and it was there to be met. Couldn't be turned in, and Another player has gone down. And the trainer again is going to be called for. Trainers had to leave Rhiannon Gurr on her own behind the Calder goals to come and assess the damage at the other end. Well, the phrase is, when it rains it pours, but this is getting a bit ridiculous. It's Ellie Lamont and he's going to hobble off behind the goals, as we've got 6 minutes of added time that has been signalled for here at BT Connor Reserve. The major concerns for Preston would have to be with Rhiannon Gurr, who has the boot off behind the goals and has been unable to make her way back around to the dugout without support. No, we're going to get an additional minute now. It's now 7 minutes of added time here at BT Connor Reserve after that final intermission. Walsh.
Drop off, Maya! Drop, Maya!
Back to Smith. Preston continuing to press with some of those fresher bodies that they've got up front. And that's blaming. Now down to, at the moment, it's 9 for Preston. With Lamont and Gurr both off the park. Albeit Lamont may be okay to continue. On ball forward, but it's, well, high ball forward, but it's going to get away from Olivia Lazarevska. As Ellie Lamont comes back on, and, well, Rhiannon Gurr's not going to be able to basically hop her way back to the dugout, so the stretcher is now being carried out to the defender. Unfortunate, really unfortunate to see. As Lamont looks to have shaken off whatever knock befell her as she sends Smith to the shops before sending it to the top of the box. Only Calder players there to meet it. Shimazu in front of Dakota Thyssen. Judy Connolly shilling the ball from Yuri Nishimura. Now Shimazu sending it into space out in front. Adelaide Ayton, who, she's only on the park to just see this game out with a knock, and you can see it there as she's moving very gingerly before playing it out to the right flank. Ball in, bounces into the legs of Lazarevska. She lays it back off. Calder looking for a second. In the direction of Shimazu, but it's cleared away by Lani Gadais. Cleared away by Preston, whose thoughts can now turn at the end of this one to another home game next Friday evening against Alamein. And then, well, in this race for finals football, it could be Preston that have the most difficult run in. Because after they host Alamein, they have to travel to face league leaders Bulleen, then against Essendon, and then against Heidelberg. So Preston, they will face Alamein and then face the 3 other sides that currently make up the top 4 in the final month of their campaign. Calder, meanwhile, who will have to bounce back from tonight's defeat in their efforts to avoid relegation. They will host South Melbourne at Keilor Park Recreation Reserve next Saturday. Then they're on the road against Alamein. Then they will host Box Hill and then ends their season on a day where simultaneous kickoffs taking place across the league on a Saturday afternoon. Ends their season away to Bulleen. Now, Bulleen and Calder have staged some historic meetings over the years, grand finals, Nike FC Cup finals, but on that final day of the season, Bulleen could very much have the Premier's Plate already wrapped up by then if they're able to finish this season, well, relatively in keeping with their form throughout the campaign. But in that game, Coach Caitlin Friend's side could potentially hold the fate of their rivals in their hands. There's the ball, bounces out to Judy Connolly. Keeps the play moving to Langley. Smith. Preston trying to send the ball forward, only as far as Henderson. Lamont. Preston potentially looking for a sixth. And goal difference is pretty healthy, even compared to the other playoff contenders. That probably will go in their favour come the end of the season, short of disaster. But extra goals are always nice, as they'll have a corner here. We've now played 6 of the added 7 minutes per the scoreboard here in Reservoir. There's Miri Nishimura, sends it in. Kapanecha couldn't make proper contact with the effort. Will fall to Emma Checker. Emma Checker off the crossbar. Ellie Vlaming trying to bundle in the rebounds. And Emma Checker denied. A debut maiden goal for Preston. And as the 7 minutes expires on the scoreboard, the final whistle is blown here at BT Connor Reserve, and it ends with a resounding 5-1 win to the hosts. Preston Lions do their bit to shore up their place in the top 4 and maybe, just maybe, keeping the pressure on FC Bulleen Lions atop the NPL Women's Victoria table. For Calder, their 2-game unbeaten run is snapped, and they must look to regather themselves and find some new form in their efforts to avoid relegation. A brace for Hayley Johnson, a brace for Mabe Tanaka, and a solo strike for Georgia Henderson for the hosts, with Keisha Santu from the spot grabbing a late consolation for the visitors, as both sides were forced to battle injuries and almost began to resemble the walking wounded as the game expired. A big round of NPL Women's Victoria football to come after this, across Saturday and Monday. Essendon against Emerging, Alamein against Bentley, Heidelberg against Box Hill, Burundara against South Melbourne tomorrow, and then Bulleen against Brunswick Juventus to see out the round on Monday. You'll be able to see all of those games on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, all of the NPL Men's Victoria games happening as well. Select VPL 1 and 2 games in the Men's League, all live and free. Be a friend, tell a friend, subscribe, get them subscribed as well. But my name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for your company on this very chilly Friday evening at BT Connor Reserve, where for one final time the score has been Preston Lions 5, Calder United 1. Thanks and success.